Good news, everyone!
And we're here, and we're rocking, and we don't stop. No, it's not 1980s. It is 2023. Welcome, everybody. Bandit, Radio Hour, all that good horse shit. How we doing tonight, Merce?
About the same. That was in a watermelon field and back behind a microphone and computer.
That has been the same the past 4 shows, I think. But what, you're done?
I'm not lying.
No, you're not. You're actually done for a couple weeks?
It's like just Groundhog Day.
Over and over. But no, you actually got some sweet release of it today, right? You got to go home early.
Yeah, we got finished all through the main stuff, and like I said, because they still can't find help. But got them through all the planting, and now I just got to go beginning of every week and just help them spray a day or two a week. So
not bad. Work on stuff around here. Get ready for law school.
Yeah, one more flying season or one more flying corn run, and then reading. Not fun reading.
No, legal reading. Dude, I like to think of myself, probably incorrectly, as a pretty brainy guy when it comes to reading and figuring stuff out. Anytime I read anything from a lawyer, it makes me furious.
Well, it's because they have to use all the old writing, and it's just...
Yeah, and I'm like, it's... You know what? I get slightly irritated, when I read something, not in Old English, but something from, the 1700s or early 1800s, a whole lot of thous and chouts and a whole lot, but my brain's at least well, that's just the way it was then. I can accept that. I can move around. When it's modern day people writing in legalese, I'm like, I want to murder you all for making this more complicated than
I've already had to do some, because they do, intro stuff, so I've already had to do some, here, read this case study, read this outcome, read how this law applies, and it's blah, 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 and you're just ow. See, ow, let me have to reread that sentence 4 times to figure out what you meant.
I was the kind of guy in class, if it was a subject I was even mildly interested in some aspect of it, I could raise my hand if I got a question wrong. I wouldn't feel that bad about it. I'm trying. I could wrap my head around some parts of it. When it got to certain classes where there was none of it I could appreciate, I'll never forget, in college I had music appreciation class, which I thought would be a slam dunk. But
some people make whole majors out of that, so...
Dude, we had to start on, the history of music and write thesis and papers on how, Gregorian chant made us feel. And I'm a lyrics guy. I'm not a beat guy.
Is that the one where
yeah, a whole lot of that. And, dude, that pissed me off so bad. I was the anxiety of I have to pretend to care, and even logically I can pretend to care about something I don't really care about. If you told me to play devil's advocate, that's easy for me to do. But you tell me to pull emotions out of art, and I'm you go to hell, Tommy. I'm not here for that.
Did you have to get one of those little recorders? You have to do that little recorders, the little flutes?
You're talking about the instrument.
Yeah.
I did. I can't remember what grade, but I totally remember.
I think that, but I guess that was a nationwide thing. I think everyone did it.
Federally enforced education.
Yeah, but I think you had to bring $10 to class to buy a recorder, and I can tell you I only ever played more than 3 notes.
I'm just trying to picture me.
Don't know how to pay my taxes, but
I'm trying to picture me describing that like a libertarian that had never heard of the concept. I'm just picturing Nazi armed guards and little kids with flutes. Do 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 do, and just play the flute. Cock the barrel. But no, don't even know how the hell we got there.
Start with old-timey languages and law languages, and then something with
the... Pardon me, a little bit of cream in the coffee. But no, so taking whole courses on something that frustrates me like that, I can't begin to imagine your frustration with it.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun, but I don't think anybody goes to law school and says it's fun.
No, not at all. I had to deal... this week, we've been trying to get to 2 things. Because right now in Florida, it's the dry season. Everything's drying up. So,
it won't rain.
No. We got to keep an eye on the ponds, make sure they're not too dry. And if they are, we got to, get a excavator and dig them deeper. So, been doing that, checking out for the cows. But in the mornings, we get, a ton of fog. It's been insane.
Oh, it was so bad this morning trying to leave here.
Me and Lily, my daughter, pulling out on we call them highways, but they're not technically highways, as my baby mom from the city will often correct me. They're state roads, but they're
It's a highway.
yeah, then in our town they're called highways. Like me and her are like pulling out onto it, right where my driveway ends, and she's like, "How can you tell it's clear, Daddy?" I'm like, "I can't. We're just kind of going with it."
My exact words this morning when I got to the farm was like, I kind of just had to like cross my fingers and pulled out.
Hope a car ain't coming right now because I can only see 20 feet, and this measurement I'm getting right. Like it was bad.
I think there's some bad accidents in like south of town. Different things I heard.
There was one last night while I was going to sleep. Heard like 4 ambulances go by my house. I'm like, well, my kid's here or in Michigan, so I'm fine.
Oh, it's been terrible.
But so no, so, like with this little bit of precipitation we got in the air, my mom's bright idea, which I'm trying to make the most out of it, is dragging the pastures. Which for those of you that probably most of y'all that don't know what the hell that is, which is fine. I'm gonna explain it. You pretty much like you make a drag, and a drag in essence, what it typically is
it's a show in the Keys.
No, you can bring kids to No. So like a drag's an implement you build. You typically custom build it, put it behind a tractor. It's a big heavy bar with a bunch of old crappy tires behind it.
Some miscellaneous whatever junk you got laying around.
Heavy trash that you can. The idea is that is when you have a cow pasture that has too much cow crap in it, you hook this up to a tractor, drive the tractor back and forth in straight lines, like Mer said last episode. Until the pasture's done. You've spread the manure out everywhere, and when it rains or when there's some precipitation from like fog, it's like a little bit of a bonus fertilizer you're putting on the ground. Now the cows are pissed off at you for the day because they're like, you just smeared shit all over this grass I was eating, you asshole. I'm like, oh, go to the next pasture. But been doing that. Been trying to get a sprayer ready for spraying out herbicide and fertilizer and stuff like that on our pastures, which is a big, like, 60-foot boom sprayer. But 2 of the tires, normally, it's one of those bubblegum operation things, like the tires slowly leak air, but it'd be like once every 2 weeks. We'd be like, oh, just got to remember, put air in those tires and they'll keep up. Well, the past, like, 8 months has been hell and chaos at the ranch, so I haven't had time to stop and think. So the rims just, like, dug through the rubber on the tire on this sprayer, so I had to jack that big bastard up and swap them out. And anyways, all of that was like the miscellaneous stuff. The one shitty thing about today, like I said, this is like trying to share this experience with all the folks that don't have it. Going like the pasture I'm dragging, most of the cows are out of it into a different pasture, but there's one cow in a ditch just laying there. Away from all the herd. And what does that usually mean, Merce?
She's either like having a calf or
something wrong.
Yeah.
Something wrong if she's not going with the rest of the herd. So like I pull up to her and she's like, it's not like a deep ditch, like it's shin deep or something like that. And normally with our cows, they're not like cute, cuddly, you can pet them. Like you get close and they buck and run the other way. And she like tried getting up and cutting. I could tell she was an old cow. Ended up getting the tractor. She couldn't get up, and that's the thing. If they can't get up, they're gonna die slow death. But I'm like, hey, she can't get up right now.
Needs a life alert.
Yes, life alert's the 22 mag. No,
lifeless alert.
But this one, I was like, I'm gonna try. Like she doesn't. There's something about when an animal is like dying and they've been there for days and it's been bad. You know, they're like wide-eyed, like the white in their eyes really big, their pupils small. They look like tight-skinned. They look like something you expect.
Like most people on the streets of California.
Yes. Wow.
In Philadelphia.
Wow. From what we see in the pictures. Although, didn't you go to San Francisco?
I've been to California. I watched a woman give herself a shower on in Hollywood on the Hollywood Stars. That is like a super disgusting place. Like when they you see like an actor get their picture taken there.
I think you told me about this, but I've forgotten. So what was it? The Aviators?
Yeah, it was like crop dusting convention, which is like haha. No,
yeah, I know that's great. It's the Beverly Hillbillies of the air.
Yeah, National Aerial Applicators Association. They walk around farting on people.
They are all literally the guy from Independence Day, Randy Quaid.
Yeah. I'm not even lying. It's us.
So y'all go to California. What the hell was that like?
All like fish out of water.
Hey, stupid question. Do y'all charter flights there, or do y'all?
Oh no, we're letting somebody else fly us because the booze is usually flowing. we're.
Does that normally stop crop dusters?
Anyways, so we're on.
It's not just booze.
No, speaking of my profession, no, we are actually very professional and not like the true Randy Quaid. Yeah. But, so anyways, my biggest takeaway from California is that place has got to have the softest concrete of anywhere in the world. Because everybody's sleeping on it.
Yeah, it's a wonderful bed.
I mean, like...
5-star in the...
Yeah, like, I literally saw, like, we were walking and we're like a sidewalk made like a 90-degree turn. I literally watched a guy walk off the end of it and then just fall down face first and just took a nap. Didn't move. I mean, actually, in hindsight, he might have been dead. Because then, like, we went and got food and we walked back out. Dude was still just right there.
Like laying out in the street or on the
No,
side?
like, it was like on the grass. Like, the sidewalk just made like a turn and he just, like, walked off the end of it and just down.
Face planted and said, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, and there were people just sleeping everywhere. And then, like I said, the Hollywood stars or the Walk of Fame, they call it.
All right.
You know, it's like this. Yeah, no, there was a lady. She was using a scarf and a bottle of water and giving herself like a whore bath sitting on the ground.
For a frame of reference, that probably won't make sense to most of the folks out there, but for us locals, you know the homeless village in town.
Okay, yeah, that's Hollywood.
But how big? Okay, here's my question: the place I'm talking about,
all of it,
small.
Everywhere.
Okay, but the place I'm talking about, what? It's like maybe a block.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe a block of homeless. It's like in our town, there's like the bunch of woods and jungle area looking stuff. And they made a little encampment in there, which I'm like, hey, I mean, if there's not housing for them, I think it's kind of cool. They, for the most part, banded together and like, hey, we're going to watch each other's back and help survive. And then some asshole.
There's like a sign up too, you know, that says like the homeless.
There's a guy who's trying to actually, and I really respect him and applaud him for doing this. He bought the land and he's going to try to build a bunch of small houses to like have homeless housing.
I want this to be a good thing.
Me too.
I see it.
I already know what you're thinking, and I'm kind of thinking like
it's going to be nothing but a whore and drug houses, and like just.
It'll be like old Arcadia.
Yeah.
Pioneer days. They're back, baby.
So they're going to build it out of wood and it's all going to burn down.
I mean, maybe. Wouldn't be too far. Hey, wouldn't be the first time a homeless person got caught on fire back there. There was
not wrong.
There was some asshole like 3 or 4 years ago literally like lit a homeless guy on fire back there in the woods. And
did you see the execution?
No, but
I couldn't make myself watch it all the way. I wanted to because I paused it.
I saw people freaking out on Twitter about something about an execution, and I was like, man, I don't like watching snuff films. I saw some as a kid on accident on purpose.
Oh, I saw all those
accidentally purpose.
I saw the guy getting beheaded.
The one where your buddy's like, hey, want to watch this video? And you're like, sure, man. It's like, show somebody dying. It's like, whatever. I've shot a deer, and then you see it, and you're like, I'm never forgetting this as long as I live.
I watched like the first 10 seconds of it, and I was just
my innocence is over.
I was just like, for my own peace of mind, I was like, I just paused it. I couldn't finish it. But apparently, I'm assuming the whole video is there, but the guy's just standing behind a homeless guy sitting on the ground, and he's just loading like a revolver. And like clicks it in and just point blank, just executes the guy right on the street.
Yeah.
In somebody else's video, and so like everybody was like, well, "Why the guy with video not say or do anything?" I was like, "Okay, because he's got a gun. You don't want to get shot." But like, so it is. I don't know, but it's just St. Louis is wild.
That was St. Louis.
Yeah, that was St. Louis.
Oh, dude, like living.
I used to crop dust in Greenville, Illinois, which is like 45 minutes to an hour just outside of St. Louis. So I'd be in around that area a lot, and it is bad.
Dude, when you, like, there's a big part of me that really sympathizes with, like, blue-pilled people or people in the Matrix or however you want to say it that believe everything they see. Their biggest concerns are what the Real Housewives are doing or what the Ice Road Truckers are doing across America. That's not a popular show anymore, but whatever the modern version of that is. I don't know, everything's kind of diverse now in that aspect of what the typical American dude watches. But anyways, for those that like
there's not even such thing as a typical American dude anymore, unfortunately.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, a dude's still a dude.
A dude's still math is
math.
What
What they
But no, they like, there's a part of me that, like, if you grew up in the suburbs, or God forbid, in a place like in the inner city of St. Louis where just a homeless guy can get executed, And I don't know, the TV says it's somebody's fault that I don't know and I've never met, and no one's ever told me to think any differently. There's a big part of me that's like, did you ever have a chance at having any other kind of belief that, like, to just accept this reality you're being told? I mean, I could say the same with, like, country rednecks, you know, it's just the inverse of that.
That's going to be my charity. Arm the homeless.
Yeah, dude, just give them a way to defend themselves, and it'll work out. So one's going to be shooting everybody he sees because he's schizophrenic. We'll all have guns. It'll, you know, what was that wonderful picture I saw? I think it was on Facebook a while back, but it was a gun safety class in high school in 1953 or something like that. And it's all these, like, 13-year-olds or something with 22s. Like, the class was like, hey, come to class, get your 22, go to the shooting range, and we're going to show everyone how to...
I was born in the wrong time period. I'm glad I have internet. And
I was about to say, there's benefits.
But,
I'd have been the town out. You know, we talked about, like, the poor hippies that probably did get experimented on by CIA. I think I'd have ended up as one of those, probably. A draft.
Yeah, you were like crazy old man Jenkins down, like, just yelling at the sky.
Just happened to be right.
You had like a little ham radio. You had to crank it up.
Yep. That'd be pretty damn close to the point.
You're staring at the TV static for messages.
Yeah. Oh, how did we get on that? Talking about that cow that was dying?
Yeah.
Oh, so sorry about that. Big Ranny turnaround. But no, the cow's not dead. Because like I said, that's how we got on it. I was describing how the cow looked, and it reminded you of junkies in frickin' California. No, like, she didn't look bad. She just looked like she couldn't get up. So I actually, like, got a tractor and a snatch strap and pulled her out of the ditch and tried standing her up, but she wasn't having none of that. Like, she was wiggling.
Cow got stuck.
So I really tried being charitable, and I was like, I'm gonna go get you some horse feed, and I'm gonna go get a cooler and fill up the cooler with water. You probably haven't had water all day, and it's out in the bald sun, and you got, help you out a little bit. And brought her the feed. She didn't eat it. She kicked the water over and continued to lay there. And I just thought, all right, if you're there in the morning, I'm gonna shoot you.
Didn't want no handout.
Nope. I'll fight you. You poked me with needles, asshole. I remember you. So, yeah, that's, like, been my life here recently. Although, I will tell you, I had a really gay moment earlier. You decide.
I'm glad you're across the table.
Yeah, no, I was at... Well, it didn't start off that way. I was at home.
Oh, it never starts off that way.
We're just having a good time wrestling around. No, I'm at home eating dinner with my daughter, and we're watching Futurama, one of the greatest shows ever. And I kind of pick and choose which episodes we watch, so it's not Bender constantly talking about having a place with blackjack and hookers, and her going, "What's blackjack?" and me getting real detailed into the card game, so she doesn't ask me what the hookers are. My little divert her from that. No, it's the one, I don't know if you remember the, like, awesome episode about his brother, Yancey, back in the past. That
with the 7-leaf clover.
With the 7-leaf clover, and the whole time, Fry's, like, cussing him, like, no, he stole my luck, and I want to fight him, and I was supposed to go to Mars, and my daughter's even there watching, like, going, he's got such a mean brother. And then you get there and realize it's the brother's son, and it's honor of Fry and all. Dude, I got teary-eyed. And my daughter's like, that's so sweet. I'm like, sure is. So, yeah, very gay.
Gay!
Yeah, very gay. Not based at all. But
the saddest one will still always be when his dog's waiting.
I'm not going to... I refuse to, like, watch that one again. I need to get it back on Malcolm in the Middle.
Seymour.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. Also, same name as Seymour Skinner.
Steaming hands.
It was great. So that was, I don't know, that's been all my recent crap. On the other hand, horses are dicks. That was one thing that happened recently.
Well, I've always said that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're just like people. There's nice ones and bad ones. But
no, they're cats. They're giant cats.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me. Side note. It would not surprise me. You know how, like, I've criticized the evolutionary theory, and not like bashing it itself, but like the strict adherence to it that our secular society has. Oh wow, that sounded nice. But that, it's kind of playing with my ancient human theory, advanced human theory, which I don't like fully believe. It's just like a real fun thought experiment. I was thinking, like, man, we have dogs that are just like super close to us as animals, and horses that are like super close to us as animals, like not evolutionary wise, but domesticated wise, and like a dog will literally like die for you. Like it's a wild thought in the animal kingdom. I'm like, ancient humans created them as like a lab rat, as like a human helper. I'd believe that quicker than they just, what, one animal was just like, hello fellow meat eater, I'm made of meat and you're made of meat, but no, we're just going to start working together. I'm going to disobey my wolf brothers.
Well, I mean, in the animal kingdom, coyotes and badgers work together.
Shut up! Stop ruining my conspiracy theories that are fun.
And there's actually, I was reading an article that dogs, modern dogs have the ability to make facial expressions with their eyes. To be like more closer to humans, where a wolf cannot. A wolf cannot make facial expressions, and it's a way for them to bond with humans.
I mean, we could have just captured puppies and then like trained them over generations to get them like more domesticated and used to people. But my idea.
And now we have the pug.
Ugh. So, man, humans.
Some bitch ran 100 miles an hour into a wall.
Dude, like, for as smart as humans are, how are we so retarded?
I think that in turn answers itself.
Like, no, but like, okay, atom bombs, I get. They're bad. They could wipe out the Earth, but like, there's part of me that's like, I mean, it's like the conclusion of making bigger and bigger booms. You make the biggest one.
Yeah.
Like, that makes sense. Leaded and unleaded gasoline makes sense to me. They had found out leaded first and used it and realized
we still use nothing but leaded gasoline in airplanes.
Just spraying it over people's houses.
Yeah, I mean, we're not like actually up there like flicking a switch and doing it, but yeah, no, all airplane fuel is leaded. It's called 100 low lead, because they try to lower the lead, but it's still got it.
Is that like how they changed thick cut bacon?
Yeah.
It's actually the old normal bacon. They just assholes. It's all a lie.
So they're not contrails. But it's lead.
It's lead. Just a little bit of lead in there.
Yeah, we're not spraying anything crazy, just lead.
Just floating around out there. But keep worrying about the carbon. That's what we should look at. Speaking about a little bit of lead, Stan. So there's a little bit of the news. South Park, which is seemingly making a comeback, which I'm very excited about because, damn, South Park, I'd say, hands down, greatest animated show ever, in my opinion at least. I can't think of one better. But man, over the years, and God bless them, they had a hell of a run. But it was, I don't know, my years might be off. You remember the World of Warcraft episode where they go?
Yeah.
It was about that time where there first started being episodes where I was like, I don't think I fully enjoy this one or get it. It went from me loving every single episode from the bottom of my heart to that to about 5 years later.
Which was then the irony, because then it was like a couple years later, that's when they did the episode where like everything shit.
That episode was brilliant.
I think they were self-aware.
Yeah. That like they're running out of tricks and it seemed like they fell out of form for a while. Although they brought it up just briefly on Joe Rogan the other day. You remember the Kanye West episode with fish sticks? Like, it's in the middle of this era of them kind of falling down. They have gold mines, like when they kidnapped Carlos Mencia, who's trying to...
This is a joke, man.
How don't you get it, man? please get the joke, man. That was so great.
Or Kanye's still crazy, so...
Or when they drink gluten and the guy's dick shoots off like a rocket.
Then you drink it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When the guy in Ohio, the mayor, drank the river water or whatever, 60% of me was like, I think his dick's gonna shoot off. But South Park,
I was waiting for something like that, and the other part of me was like, that one 100% came out of a bottle before he got
somehow that's upstream of everything or something like that.
That's like out of like his little Culligan jug in his office.
we'll get to more Ohio in a second. Although the past episodes I've listened to, every time I say we're going to get to something in a second, I never talk about that shit again. So welcome to the ride, folks. But no, the South Park, like from the things I've heard, it seemed like even going into COVID, from the little bit of their commercials I saw, a little bit of summaries of it on the internet, they were kind of letting me down. Like, damn, y'all are kind of falling for the narrative. But then they came out with the pandemic special, when the Nazis were forcing kids to wear pajamas to school or something like that. I can't remember what it was exactly titled, and I was like, all right, smells like y'all are coming back around. And
which is what the opposite of COVID lets you do.
I don't know, I was fine.
Oh, I couldn't smell.
Oh.
I never got the test because I couldn't smell or taste anything.
I know this is popular to say, but like, I think it came on the scene big in like February of that year, but it was in like December, January, earlier than that. Me and my mom got really bad cold.
I got super sick right around just for Christmas.
I wouldn't say I lost my taste, but it was definitely nerfed. Like it was like.
Yeah, and then it was somewhere around there too. Mine was gone, and but I was like, I'm not getting the test because I don't want the government to use me as a statistic for their BS and keep. But no, for like 2 weeks, could taste nothing. I bought like Chinese food, tried like it all, and I think that was like the worst part. Was like food, like I was just eating for survival at that point.
And you didn't want to eat.
Yeah, it was just like, I'm hungry. Let me just like.
That's bad. But no, apparently South Park came out swinging against Prince and. I guess
they want their privacy.
They do want their privacy. But my favorite thing about all that is when I do, like, my eyes catch, like, a commercial for it or something like that, and I see that they have flapping heads, just like they did from the Canadians.
Oh, Terrence and Phillip heads.
Saddam Hussein. Hey, guys! No. This is, thank y'all so much. My kids are getting old enough where I can kind of show them, like...
certain clips.
I showed my daughter Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo as her first introduction to South Park, and she was like, "What was wrong with y'all? Why is there poop on Christmas?"
I still have the same reaction to him to this day. It's still kind of like, it's still icky.
There's a part of me that's grown to love it. Like, that was my first reaction to it when I was I think the first episode I saw was where they're like, they're coming right for us, like shooting all of the hunters are, and shooting everything in sight from bullfrogs to friggin' dove. But something I was wondering, with the next generation, half of South Park is referencing a current event.
Right.
And we think it's funny, because we remember going through that event. Like, Alan Jackson singing 9/11, 9/11, 9/11, give me money, 9/11, and now people just go up and start giving him $20.
My favorite's Token always gives $1 to Medea.
Tyler Perry. Dude, they're great. My brother sent me the clip the other day where Butters goes to therapy. And don't worry, Mrs. Buttersworth, or whatever his mom's name is. If we haven't found out what trauma, we'll discover what traumatically affected him. And this machine starts lifting him up as a giant dildo starts going that. I'm not going to describe the rest, but it's
Lou.
I remember seeing that as a kid and just finding it hilarious. Seeing it again as an adult, I was like, if that came out today, I would bet, and I like conservatives would be like.
South Park has solidified itself now where everybody it's like accepted because it's just South Park. They've won so many stuff. There's like, it's just South Park. South Park couldn't exist today because I don't think they ever would have been allowed to reach their status.
They started at the prime time. What Joe Rogan was saying, was it Joe Rogan or Ari Shaffir? He said whenever he had a show on Comedy Central, This Is Not Happening, they would be like, well, you can do whatever you want as long as someone else has already done it on comedy. As long as there's precedent for it, you can do it. And he said like he would watch Cartman. He'd be like, all right, I want to do that, like, something about making fun of Jews, and I'm a Jew. And they'd be like, no, you can't do that. He's like, but Cartman did it. They go, not South Park. South Park's the except you can. take precedence, except with South Park. Like, they're the golden rule.
South Park literally just walks around with his wiener out, just suck it.
I love that in their video games to pick, and I've never been crazy about the South Park video games, but how the difficulty scaling is how much darker your skin gets.
Oh.
So easy difficulty is your white, and the hardest difficulty is your dark black. I think it says African black or something. It's like, dude, as much as I hate like a lot of, for lack of a better term, and we really need a better one, but woke, I'm like, that's using it in a smart, funny way. That was hilarious. And everyone in the game treats you differently.
Yeah, I don't know. I could care less about the prince and the princess. You know, like, could be like American. Like, I haven't cared about them since 1776.
Damn straight.
But even just more the drama in his book and everything else. However, I would read Wah.
Yeah, that was the book they wrote on South Park.
I saw that clip and when they pronounced it out, like, I thought that was great.
Here's my thing. It's not like I think the reason a lot of us on the fringes like taking a big old baseball bat to the royal family, because I think like it symbolizes just this. It's like the epitome of celebrity worship that happens in a lot of different flavors, but that's the one that's like kind of Entertainment Weekly flavor. That's the pinnacle of that. But I mean, I feel like I could say the same about some of my manly relatives who are like freaking work in construction or work on linemen or contractors, stuff like that, who are like, when they could say to hell with the king and queen, I'm not interested in any of that, but it's like, hey, how about that football game, man? It's like, did you hear about that quarterback from Ohio that traded his whole life and dream of being a dancer to come here and play football, and that like goes on a whole life story?
I'm diehard Florida fan. Like when like the game's on, my life stops. I couldn't tell you half the players, half the backstory. I just want to see my orange and blue end zone.
Yeah, and like that's, I guess I have a version of that when I like obsess over certain, oh, this sounds gay, philosophers or anything like that, but like I don't have a good point with any of that. Just an observation. We'll move on.
Solid philosophy.
Ran into a brick wall on that one, guys. But besides that, oh shit, that's right. Wrestler was arrested. What the hell's her name? I tweeted it. I don't know wrestlers since Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Woo!
And the Undertaker might be my cousin, so my uncle says. But if you're listening, Undertaker, we could meet up. That'd be cool. I liked you when I was like 12.
I feel like he's been told that so many times, or had to have heard some similar stories at this point.
I don't want to know the truth. I just want to keep believing that there's a big chance of it to be true. Just don't ruin my dreams.
Like, wasn't there a movie like all the kids that thought Elvis could be their dad?
Dude, hang on. There's a lot of kids that Elvis could be their dad.
No, there's a lot of kids that Elvis is their dad.
And like Elvis might just be like 13 years older than them or something like that. Yeah. Like it's wild. It was the 60s. I mean, hey, whatever. Bad now. Back then, man.
So I think it was still bad. I just think it was viewed differently.
All right, this story I don't think I've ever told you. Did I ever tell you about going to the wrestling match as a youngin' with my cousin and my uncle and my dad?
No.
So, all right, so to put this in perspective, until I was about 10 or 11 years old, like a lot of kids in the 90s, except your sheltered ass, wrestling was like my world. Like, these gladiators got in the arena every Monday and Thursday night and fought each other to a bloody pulp, and it was all 100% real. 100% of it. No one could tell me any different. And talking about fighting my brothers the last episode, I'm sorry, one more quick one. For like my 9th birthday, there was a wrestling sect called the NWO, the New World Order. I don't know if you remember them.
No, I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling unless like parents weren't like in that part of the house.
The Christian Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, basically. Like, I remember
the Veggie Tales version of WWE.
Dude, Veggie Tales had some good quality shows.
I'm gonna against the current title.
Well,
now.
when it was compared to like Gerbert and all the other terrible things I had to watch,
I liked classic Bible
Mr.
animated
the Donut Man, the Bible things.
I don't know what that was.
It was rough.
Okay.
It was rough,
take
but
that.
I was able to watch enough wrestling to just know who some of the people were and like some here and there type things. But that'd be like mom was in the kitchen cooking, or I was like left unattended with the TV for more than 20 minutes.
Or you're with your cousins that brought it up too much.
Yeah.
But no, I ordered a Hulk Hogan NWO bandana, and
so you just had to shave your head and
and turn blonde and grow a mustache. Yes, that's it. And I ordered that and one of their wrestling belts, you know, like the championship belts they had, but it had a black spray paint, NWO across it, because they were like cool and edgy and 1990s and steroids, a lot of that. But anyways, as soon as it got in the mail, I put on the bandana, and God bless my brother Chris, the middle one, the Flash, goes, he's like excited for me. We're having like a good time together, and he's like, dude, how excited are you to be the champ? Like, he's playing along with it. Like, how excited are you to be the champion? I saw that belt in my hand. I just looked at him, looked at it, and I just turned, and for no reason in particular, smashed him in the face with it. Just, I wanted it to be wrestling. And there was a genuine thought there that wasn't bad that turned into bad action.
I would strike you.
Yeah. Dude, thing is, I think I, like, kicked his ass for all of, like, I don't remember it in detail, because I think I kicked his ass for like 30 seconds, then he flipped it very quickly, and my ass got, he put me down.
Well, yeah, because he was probably like, oh yeah, I'm playing around. Oh, he's not. Ow! Ow! Ow!
Yeah, I think I knocked him down with like the first hit and got on top, but I'm not sure that's hazy. But I was going with that rant somewhere. Oh yeah, Chick got arrested. No, so this is I haven't kept up with wrestling since I found out it was fake when Chris Jericho spit out that blood tablet, and I cried for a while. Aside from that, this WWE superstar, I don't know, superstar, that might be a loose word, but there was like an attempted kidnapping on her, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and she ended up getting away from it. I didn't really look into the details, but it seems like she got away. Anyways, there's a wrestling event in or near New Jersey, and that's where she was recently, like today or last night. And she got pulled over and arrested for having a firearm that was not registered in the state of New Jersey. Now, here's the thing about New Jersey laws. Even if you get your firearm registered on like a federal basis, you still have to get it specially registered in New Jersey for it to count and not be against their law.
That's how Illinois was.
Which is insane.
Yeah, we had a mechanic coming to fix one of the airplanes. He got arrested for a felony because he got stopped for a traffic stop. And he's like, "You got any weapons?" He's like, "Yeah, I got my pistol in my console." And he's from Arkansas. Like, nope. They threw him in jail for a felony on 4th of July weekend. He was there for 3 days so he could get out.
Dude, that
and had done nothing wrong. He like missed the turn, and a cop pulled him over. He's like, "What are you doing?" Because he made like maybe an illegal U-turn or something. And yep, they threw him in jail.
Just being polite and honest with the officer, just doing as he said, and
yeah, I think he ended up like pleading it down to like a misdemeanor or something else, and they kept and disposed of the gun. And it wasn't anything fancy. It was just like just a pistol.
Now, if you're the cop that, I don't know, maybe there's like cops we don't know about that like actually, which I'd love to believe that like don't enforce gun laws. I'd love to.
I'm sure it's like most things. You hear people are more vocal about the negative. I'm sure there are some. And actually, with this latest gun law in Illinois, because I've got friends I'm friends with, working up there, they're sharing some. A lot of the sheriffs have come out and vocally said we are not enforcing this mandate. I've heard that. Something to do with the AR-15s or something.
Yeah.
Because they're requiring you to have to register them within 2 days or like 2 weeks. If you're not registered, then it's illegal. But I think it's also something where if it's registered, they can like show up to check it or something, and the cops are just like, yeah. No, like we'll like enforce like other firearm laws or stuff. Like still, was like this one is just a no.
But here's my thing to the cops that subjectively draw a line somewhere and go, well, I won't enforce those laws, but I will enforce these. And to me, it's like, I was talking to a buddy about this. That's an ambulance driver, and he's kind of a blue-pilled conservative. God bless him, but believes kind of mostly everything they're saying on Fox News, outside of Tucker Carlson, is they're trying to tell the truth and they just get it wrong sometimes. He's kind of one of them. But besides that, brilliant, really smart guy. He's a lot smarter than I am in a lot of cases. But I brought it up to him. We're kind of having a talk about the duty of a peace officer or police officer. But about like what their sworn duty is. I can't think of another word now. I'm just thinking about poop every time I say it, you asshole. Anyways, he said, I said, like, dude, don't they have to, like, whenever they get the job, like, put their hand up in the air, or put one hand and the other one on a Bible and say, I do solemnly swear to uphold and protect the Constitution of the United States? And he corrects me. He goes, well, yeah, not only do they, but even I, as an ambulance driver, had to, like, do that. Like, I'm like, all right. It's like, this is the standard I hold not only cops to, but, like, presidents to. I could care less about your job. If you as a human being is going like, I swear on my honor, I'm going to try to uphold this contract. If you're a security guard and your contract is protecting GameStop at the mall, and you put your hand on not even a Bible, just a
Halo 3.
I swear to do solemnly protect this GameStop unless like I physically can't or some shit. I judge a person on like, how do you hold up to what you swore to? And, all right, if you're swearing to a document like the Constitution, you had better understand this shit beyond an 11th grade level. Like, which sadly none of them understand it. Not none. A great chunk of them don't understand it over a 3rd grade level. But even the ones that do, that are like Constitution.
A lot of them were lucky to graduate high school.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking about, like, good county cops. And they'll be like, well, you know, I won't enforce that Illinois gun or New Jersey gun control law because that's against the Constitution. However, Reagan's federal ban on assault ARs and machine gun, what was it we talked about? Brady Act? I'll uphold that one.
I will take my time once again to remind our listening audience, it is legal to own a cannon.
Yeah.
It has to be breech loaded, like you have to load it from the front, but it is 100% legal for you to own a cannon. Do with that information what you will.
Great
I'm
shot.
advocating nothing but the fact that you can own a cannon, and I'm leaving it
Canister
there.
Ball shot.
Your opinions, mine is just that is a fact that you can own a cannon.
It's just handy. I saw a meme today about the different shots and wads of cannons, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that's cool.
there's no law saying you can't.
I love something else I was thinking about randomly. The guy that thought up artillery, like genius, that had to be a hard sell. So hear me out.
No, it's just
Hear me out. Not one cannon, not 5 cannons. I know, like, we've got a little crazy and done like 20 cannons pointed in one direction. No. We're going to back these up, like, over the horizon. Past where you can see, like 100 of them. And when the first one starts shooting, we're going to have them all go in a row, one after the other. And we should have it timed out that when the last guy gets done shooting, the first guy's done reloading and can shoot again. And we're just going to have them do that for like 5 weeks.
You know those people that guy you really don't like? How about you just take out his whole village from your village?
And what you do, your troops that you love and defend are going to be walking right behind the creeping artillery that you're going to keep moving forward, and hopefully nothing goes wrong where you shoot a little short one time. But, you know, that should only happen like once every 500 times. We're only going to do like 5,000 of these charges.
Friendly fire is not very friendly.
No, it's not. Ooh, hey, Conspiracy Corner with the Bandit. We haven't done one of these for a while. You remember that dude that it was like big, or when we were younger, it was right after 9/11. He was an NFL player.
Pat Tillman.
You know who I'm talking
Yes.
about? Yeah, okay, and he quit the NFL to go join the military, to go fight for our freedom overseas and get them terrorists.
His fate wasn't friendly.
No. So it came back, like back then, I think the story was he got killed while on mission. Or while, like, that's what they said, but they were very vague about it. And then later on, like, I think it wasn't that long ago, it might have been just within the past couple of years, they came out, they unclassified the date of like, oh, it was friendly fire. And it's like, ooh, that could have a lot of dark it could just B, he accidentally got shot in the ass while he was looking the other
I
way.
think it was like a couple shots in the head is what they've released.
Really?
So, wondering if he didn't get along with people, or I don't know. But I read some of the stuff, and and I think the army or military tried to hide it too. And there's like a whole lot of stuff there.
Dude, how many people have just been taken out?
Well, I've heard that people like the Vietnam, you can read the documentaries, like somebody didn't like them or something, they just whack them in the dark, or their COs that were,
or even like, I know I don't know, I'm certain I've talked about Terrence Yeeke on here before. The Oklahoma City bombing, like first responder.
Yeah, the one that
awesome black guy.
Yeah, he's
started
dead.
Like the Big Brothers Big Sisters over there, like a bunch of youth programs. He pulled the most bodies out of Oklahoma City bombing, and was the first guy there and all the stuff. And there's actually like recordings of him saying like that's weird. Like this a real short interview. I got this from Jinx, by the way. All hail the king. Really short interview with him, like not even 30 seconds. And what they ask him is like, so how do you feel about this? And he's like, and he looks like if he's not hiding anything, he just looks like he might have just been very traumatized. But it almost looks like he has stuff in the back of his head. And what he says along the lines of like, whoever could do this to these children and these humans, like they're evil. Like you can't deal with, like he's like shocked by it.
Yeah.
But he's not saying like Timothy McVeigh or in the other corner, the CIA or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, when I was pulling out bodies, I saw these labels made by CIA.
Well, what was the meme I saw earlier today? It showed a big old balloon and it said, weather balloon, or weather balloon, not made in China, or whatever. But anyways, yeah.
Oh, it was like on that CIA, Happy Waco anniversary.
Oh yeah, well, hang on, we'll get to that first in a second. First, Terrence Yeeke, like the craziest thing about him, if it's been a while since I gone into detail, he was the first responder, saw the most. He later on, like 2 weeks later, got found hanging in a tree with a bullet wound through his heart, with grass and embedded into his skin where he'd been drugged, and cuts to his forearms where he tried to defend himself. But it was ruled a suicide. No gun was
like
ever
the
found.
Clinton aid that was found.
That just happened recently.
That was found tied to a tree with an extension cord and shotgun wound to the chest, and the shotgun 40 feet away.
Yeah. Oh, they found it? I thought I read that the firearm disappeared.
Oh, maybe it has, but they said originally it was like 40 feet away, and they were like trying to give a big thing. It's like he must have tied his neck to the tree to ensure that it did, and then took the shotgun and extended it with his left hand. I was like, that is the hardest way you could have even tried to commit suicide.
And by the way, I know like the nuts and bolts of this, like people could question and be like, oh, how could like someone get away on something this grand of a scale or whatever. I encourage anybody, if you want to see the links in the amazing reach that these federal agencies have, I cannot suggest more Wendigoon's breakdown of the Martin Luther King assassination. Because it goes over what the family of Martin Luther King uncovered when they sued the FBI in the 90s for like, hey, we believe you're responsible for Martin Luther King's death. We're suing you for it for no money. Like they did, I think they went after $5 to prove it's not about money.
We just want to hear you say it.
Dude, and what they say is like, by the time you get halfway through the hour-long thing, you're like, this is unbelievable. One, how bold they are, and two, like how stupidly brazen and unsophisticated they are in a lot of this. But yeah, a lot of suicides. What the hell did you just bring up that we were going to get to?
Oh, I don't even know. We went down a rabbit hole. Pat Tillman was kind of where we veered off from.
Oh yeah, friendly fire. No, there was some Oklahoma City bombing.
The suicide. The guy that the Clinton killed.
Suicides. And I was going to Terrence Yeeke. Oh, but pretty much that's what I was going to say about Yeeke. He was like dead 2 days later, and 2 weeks later.
Oh, Waco.
That was it. I knew
it was just burning in the back of my mind.
I knew there was something in there. All right, I'm happy you brought this up. So, this is one of like my most delicious, hopeful treats like ever that I've just ever recognized.
Crispy treats.
Not anymore.
Too soon.
dusty treats now. So for those of you that are, I don't know, haven't heard about this and aren't on the Twitter box, the ATF about 20 years ago or something like that raided a compound in Waco, Texas with Branch Davidians, big shootout. When we were growing up, it seemed like it was an open and shut case from the narrative we were fed that David Koresh was a crazy cultist messing with kids, and then they burned themselves alive when the ATF tried to stop them. Except for a couple of crazy rednecks out in the sticks that would be like, no, FBI burned them alive. Like, would correct you.
We mentioned before the show, I'm really scared that all these crazy people that have, like, from the past, that, like, society just kind of like, no, you're crazy. I think they might have probably been right at this point, and that's terrifying.
The old burned out hippie that talked about getting picked up by the CIA and messed with. I'm not saying he was definitely right. I'm saying the possibility of him being right grows more with the day.
Yeah, I don't think you can just, like, instantly write those people off as wrong anymore.
No, not at all. But so anyways, Waco, big incident. And the ATF, the ATF is the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. They regulate those three things in this country to the point of if you don't...
I just would assume that'd be like a big store in the South.
It'd be great. It should be.
Yeah.
But they suck. They're every country boy's like big Fed nightmare. However, not only do these government agencies feel the need to have a Twitter page, which let's just expound upon that for a moment. It's like a governing entity feels the need to have a social media profile to make a presentable face to its populace, to show them a kind and helpful, and I shit you not, half of their posts are like about dogs that they train.
If we get a follow from the ATF after this, I'm gonna scream.
I already am. Internally, all the time. But the fact that they have this need to appeal to the masses, like it's an admittance that there's a reason they need propaganda. You have to keep this populace trained that you are the good guys. And that if it wasn't for you, all the bad guys would take over, and not that the bad guys already have taken over and are running the place. Like, that's the message they can't let get to the masses. So they're like, their idea to get to this goal of tricking the masses, like, we will make a Twitter page. It'll be one part of our plan. And they start pumping stuff out. Now, here's the thing. Once you start having this page, if things don't go according to plan, you can't just get rid of the Twitter page, because then that shows that you lost this battle. So you have to keep this image up that you're squeaky clean, nothing's bad with you. But on this 20th anniversary of Waco, maybe it's 21 years, I don't know, who looks at a calendar nowadays. But on this anniversary of this, they said, like, they make the post, hey, to our 6 agents that were killed that day, in memoriam of you, blah, 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 and blah, 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 and so-and-so, and all heroic, and shows their graves or whatever. You see this thing, this federal agency, which I'm sure has hundreds of thousands of followers, maybe, I don't know, tens of thousands, I bet. You see like 200 likes or something like that, people that support them. You see over 3,000 comments of ranging from, you are a terrorist organization, to, I hope those agents are burning in hell. And
I saw one that was like, post a picture of you guys standing in front of the dead bodies.
Yeah, like posing with an AR, like literally with children's skeletons in the background, like still smoking. That to me is like, all right, so they got this Twitter page that they started that they probably shouldn't have fucking started in the first place, just for PR reasons that they have. They can't pull back on it, and the internet just mobs them.
The poor guy that's like, his job is just to be like the social media editor. Has nothing to do. He's like, he does not want to go into work ever.
One, like, he either had, all right, the people that work there, that guy and the people he works around, his working conditions has to be like one of two options. Either one, he gives no shits about the ATF and simply does it for the paycheck and is able to do that without caring and goes home. And because of that, that probably has like a nice little butterfly effect of the people around him that he works with. infecting them a little bit with the not caring. Because we've all worked around that person that doesn't give a shit. They drag you down a little bit. Or there's the even better option. That there is this guy who believes all the propaganda, who is on flag-waving team ATF. We got to regulate all the guns as hard as possible. And his job every day is to go with a squirt bottle against a tsunami. of like, here's something positive. Burn in hell, Fed boy. And I'm like, just doesn't, don't get me wrong. All right, when I'm having a bad day, I might say something a little mean to one of them. But I don't even normally put myself in the hardcore shitposter category. But,
you have no idea how many times like I write something really mean and responsive, and I delete it and never post it for the sole reason that I don't have the energy to continue the argument.
Yeah.
I want to just be able to like say my little thing and be done, and not have to like come back later and reply.
A lot of times I check their follower account to see if, and this is such a petty thing to do because I don't have like, I don't know, have over fucking 1,000 followers, but I'm like, on Twitter, but I'll like be like, oh, you got 500? You're not worth my time. Oh, you got 3,000? I'll get an argument with you. People will see this shit. I'll get a megaphone to your ass. But no, that'd be uncomfortable. But so yeah, homegirl got arrested for unconstitutional laws. Oh wait, hang on, I never even finished that thought. Cops that are, I mean, it's kind of libertarianism 101. Cops that are enforcing gun control is in fact breaking their oath to the Constitution. If you are a constitutionalist, so you claim, encouraging any kind of federal, at least federal gun control is clearly anti-constitutional on a federal level. On a state level, now, if you're, back when they made the Constitution, I mean, they can arrest you in New Jersey for being a Quaker or not a Quaker. Can't remember which way it went. So it's like, if you're following your state's rules on guns, here's the tricky part, conservative libertarians, that's technically constitutional. If Illinois says no guns, I believe legally, how I've interpreted the Constitution from its like original Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers, like that's kind of okay. However, it really goes against the spirit of like, they're like, everybody needs guns and needs to be armed. Because whereas Congress can, like the example I heard for this is whereas Congress can make no laws against or in support of a religion, it's like they can't do the same thing with firearms, supposedly.
Guns are my religion.
Both. But however, like at the time that was written and after the Constitution, no one really challenged it. It was like to go to a different state and be a different, like they could outlaw your religion in their state. So it's like, yes, the federal Congress is making no laws against religion, but the state assembly can. But they just, through over the course of time, worked their way out of it and quit burning all them non-witches. Maybe we messed up earlier than the 18th Amendment.
You think we went wrong at the Salem witch trials?
Maybe they shouldn't have realized their mistake. Keep trying it. Let's see how it works out. So yeah, that I don't know how that all spun out of a wrestler being arrested, but we'll be back in 1 minute. I need more coffee and see all Cowboys Cowgirls in 1 minute. We're back. I'm slightly retarded. Surprise, surprise. I thought we'd been like chatting for 30 minutes. Turns out it's been like 58. So you're welcome, everybody. I'm getting into some more shit before I actually take a break and go home because it's late. It's 11, man. I got a 30-minute drive home. Oh, something interesting happened locally. So pretty much we live like an hour from the Gulf Coast. And when I was little, the coastal cities like in Florida, I don't know, I'm gonna do it like driving time. Like you would drive like probably from our house, it'd be like 25 minutes in the middle of cities, and then it'd be like 45 minutes or 35 minutes to make it home through country and back roads and stuff like that. Over the course of our lifetime, it's grown to be like 20 minutes of driving in the country, 25 minutes to 45 of driving through, 35 driving through the city. What the hell ever. I'm bad at math on the fly.
I hate it.
Yep. So I go to get our small engines worked on at this place in Waco, my homeland. And it's still like a good little bit in the country. And I'm talking to the really nice redneck fellow that works there, lives there, and he tells me about how the city of Bradenton, Manatee County, Lakewood Ranch is expanding eastern. And he said,
It's got nowhere else to go.
yeah, and he tells me the amount of land it's swallowing up, and I don't know how many square miles or anything like that. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like it's in between two state roads, and it covers a shitload of land all the way to what we call Wachula Road. And I tell the guy now, my libertarian autism kicks in immediately. My property rights, and I go, oh, so like what the development company must have. I know there's a bunch of different farmers and stuff like that. And he goes, oh yeah, there's an elephant sanctuary. There's a not zebras, not horses, zorses. There's a zorse farm out there, which is zebras and horses mixed together.
I hope that's what Zorro rides.
It'd be cool. I'm still been thinking about Mexican Blade, and I think we can make that a series. The Blade, the vampire hunter, but make him Mexican. If we're race swapping everything, make it interesting.
It's like I said before, it's Mexican switchblade.
Yeah, okay, all right. But anyways, Mayaka. So this guy's telling me all this, and I go, man, they must have been offered like top dollar to sell out, like to all these different property owners selling out like one development company. The old farmer like chuckles. He goes, nah, I didn't have to buy nobody out. Eminent domain. And I looked at it. My autistic brain already knows what the hell it is. But yeah, he goes, yep. Pretty much the development company has gotten the city council of this county to all agree that for the greater good of the county and probably the tax burden, they're going to agree to take this land from all of the landowners across the board. The county will take it, pay them the current market price and not a dime more, and then we'll sell it to the company. That has, like, I am speculating, has probably done favors or greased certain wheels for the county council that is making this happen.
Oh, you know they're all in the pocket.
And like, dude, look, I love nature, and the older I get, the more I appreciate being raised out in it and being around it. I actually didn't like it as a kid. I wanted to go inside where the air conditioner was, and it felt good. But now I'm older, I really love it. But I've even come to grips with the fact that one day this might all get developed and turned into houses. And you know what? If by parcel farmers sell out, but they get paid good enough for it, it's on their own volition, and no one's making them do it. That's the way of the world, man. You know, everything moves on. The nature will take it back one day. Right now, we're borrowing it. When a government comes in, whether it's because everyone voted for it or because a corporation pressured them into it and legally takes it from people, I'm like, dude, how have we been conditioned to not see this for what it is? It's the mafia. This is the same thing as the mafia going, we're going to take your land. We're going to give you a nice little payment for it, but
this is ours now.
This is an offer you can't refuse. Look, if you try, we'll send our goons with badges after you, and they will make you leave. And it's like, our founding fathers would have started some shit. Actually, they were okay with eminent domain, but for like roads. Like,
yeah, or a railroad or things like that.
Not even railroads.
Railroads didn't exist yet, but that's why when I remember in school, that's what it's talking about. Like, yeah, for like an interstate or a railroad. And I was like, and my mom was like, oh, that's not terrible. I mean, yeah, it's like having, but you still have your property on both sides, and you would just run through them.
You know, I can't remember any specifics off the top of my head, but before kind of the railroads got a ton of money and figured out lobbying.
Well, that's if you buy all four.
Yes. Yeah, before they figured out the board game. But no, like they actually, and when they were competing with each other, and they hadn't really figured out how to lobby congressmen yet. They were still trying to play towns and stuff. But they would actually offer, they would be like, all right, if we got to make this rail line, like there'd be a lot of extra curves and stuff, but it's like, we're going to make this work because we're going to buy the cheapest land we can and make a best offer to the landowner. And because they had competition, there'd be other rail lines that would move in and do it. Then the trust buster, Teddy Roosevelt, came in and said, we're going to straighten out all this lobbying, and we're going to get rid of these bad unions, but keep the good union. Or, my bad, not you. Get rid of these bad trusts, is what he called them. And keep the good trusts that work in good faith or do what the government wants them to do.
I think Teddy gets a lot of crap. And
From me.
Yeah, and for just reasons. But I truthfully think he thought he was doing a good thing, and just didn't have the foresight for most of it.
I love how Dan Carlin put it one time. He was my favorite president as a 12-year-old. Because as a 12-year-old, he is the perfect president. He went to war. He got a cowboy and an Indian and like everything short of a damn feudal Japan samurai. Got them together in a berryman of heroes. Went to Cuba, fought like when you think of just all the good.
Shot every animal for the Smithsonian.
Took mercy on a teddy bear. All that stuff. Took a bullet in the chest and kept giving a speech.
Yeah.
Bad son of a bitch. But he. Yeah, then you just look at some of his beliefs and legality. I just don't, like a lot of people, and like myself a good chunk of the time, probably just didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
Yeah. He was like, let's make it work. Yeah, we'll do this, we'll make that, and then...
I'll start a podcast. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that. Guys, we had more stuff to get to, but it's 11 o'clock, and my ass has to get up in the morning and put tires on the sprayer. This has been fun jabbing. We'll see y'all next time. Please like, subscribe, YouTube, Rumble, RSS feed, Spotify. Find us at the Bandit Radio Hour.
Just Google us.
Yep, you'll find us. Thanks, y'all. See y'all next time. Bandit out.
Hour 6 minutes.
Dude, I can't believe that was fucking 15 minutes.